Blood Message immediately jumped to the top of my most anticipated games list, as it seems to combine and enhance elements from all my favorite types of games, but place them in a still very unfamiliar setting. 848 AD during the late Tang Dynasty in China. So when NetEase reached out to sponsor a deep dive into the game, I obviously did not hesitate. So let's go over everything you need to know about this new AAA single-player story-driven action-adventure game for console and PC. You can also check the special link in the video description for even more information. One thing that has me the most excited is the sense of adventure that this near 5-minute trailer shows. We play a nameless main character who we at the start of the trailer see looking for his son Ning. Turns out that Ning is gone, but left a note saying that he joined the Xiazhou Uprising, also known as the Dongwang Uprising, a big historical event in China where the people of the Tang Dynasty rose up and fought back against the invading Tibetan army that had taken over their land. But now General Chang Yichao is succeeding against those Tibetan rivals, and we have to deliver this hopeful message to Chang'an, the capital of the Tang Dynasty. And I hope I pronounced these names right, by the way. But yeah, delivering this message is easier said than done, as it's a 1,000 miles long journey that takes us through deserts, large tombs, snow-filled mountains, and way more. Yes, I'm totally getting Uncharted vibes from all this, as we also have to complete environmental puzzles in the different tombs, and no structure we climb or traverse seems to be safe and can break at any moment. But luckily we have companions by our side who can lend a hand so we don't fall. Seems like we are rarely alone, but I like how we're not just with our son, but also explore a tomb alongside this still mysterious lady. We also work together with a monk who's a bit stronger, so can help us push and get through obstacles with strength. Yes, I totally get the God of War comparisons as well, and we will likely also see that in the father-son bond. We already see a conflict happen in the trailer where our main character urges his son to go back home and stop this so-called suicide mission of reaching the capital of the Tang Dynasty. But Ning does not seem to listen, so they continue with this journey, and that will likely lead to some sacrifices to highlight how strong their family bond is. I really hope they can hit the emotional notes. Again, it's a dangerous journey. Maybe not all our companions will make it till the end. But the companions also play an interesting role in combat. And real quick, if you like the video so far, leave a like. That would really help me out. I love the sync stealth kills they show, although they do look very scripted. I don't think you can command your ally here, but I would love to be wrong. We can also stealth take down enemies from behind cover, although I say stealth, like these skills still look very brutal, so I'm curious if they are completely silent. Another highlight I think from what we've seen so far is that the environments seem very interactable. Pushing targets against a market shelf will realistically break it, but even cooler is that when you can seemingly use finishers near things in the environment, you will trigger a unique animation that lets you use that object to take the enemy out. And here we also see our main character throw an enemy over the siege weapon they are using, which looks very cool. I also really like how weighty the combat looks and how our main character struggles against every soldier he faces, kind of like Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2 or Senua in Hellblade. I love this shoulder bash we can, by the way, do, and seems like the time to kill is very short. Just one well-placed heavy attack is sometimes enough. But some enemies have shields, so we have to remove those first and can then also quickly take him out. This finisher, like, can we look at that again? I love how he just casually throws the sword to position it well in his hand and then bam, finishes the guy off. Really curious if you can choose to approach every situation in stealth or if there are only dedicated stealth and combat sections. And yes, you probably already noticed it by now, but I do think it's good to note that this game does seem very, very linear. Even the city we arrive in early on will likely just have one path we can follow. Nothing wrong with that, and it can more easily lead to those cinematic set piece moments, but I do think that makes the Uncharted comparison even more legit, as I'm not expecting more open levels like God of War or Wukong, for example. Another interesting thing is at the end of the trailer, we see this mural that basically depicts the victory of General Chang over the Tibetans in 848. Very likely indicating that that is indeed the message we are trying to bring to the capital of the Tang Dynasty, as that will fill those people with hope for change. But we are likely not the only one tasked with this goal, as we know that after the success of General Chang, 10 teams of messengers were sent to Chang'an. But only one of those teams survived, so maybe we will encounter these other groups as NPCs during our journey. And of course, I'm curious to know who the one is that survived. Maybe that is why our main character has no name. I find that, like, very suspicious. But of course, your theory is more than welcome in the comments down below. Really hope they can deliver on what has been shown. Daniel Ahmed, an analyst focused on the Chinese market, has some extra details, by the way, as the project was seemingly greenlit around 5 years ago already, which makes me hopeful for a 2026 or early 2027 release, although no official date has been given yet. We know the game is in development at 24 Entertainment, the studio responsible for Naraka Blade Point, but it's a different team inside that studio, and it seemingly includes a high number of ex-Ubisoft developers. Also, Daniel notes that it's not a Souls-like, but I think that much was already clear from the footage. Again, check the special link in the video description for more info on Blood Message. That would also support the channel. And subscribe and like the video if you want to know more about the game. I will keep you posted. Check out my most recent video by clicking on the screen, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.